Welcome to day 5 of your Progressive Challenge Pilates Reformer workout. Today we're going to focus on full body, just a good all-arounder. You were halfway through the program as of today, but the final 5 days are available in my membership. So if you want access to those, please click the link in the description box down below. That is where you can get the last 5 days of this program, which I promise are juicy, good variations, appropriate challenges for your level. And also I offer weekly workout plans every single week, so you never have to guess what you should do this week. I think we're up to like 80 exclusive workout videos too, which is kind of wild. I have tons of prop work, interesting variations, lots of good stuff in there, bonus restorative and stretch content. I promise it's a ride. Join me over there if you'd like to access more. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed, let's start there. Please subscribe. I post new workouts frequently and I would love to see you there. Now, for this next setup, we're gonna do some single leg footwork. Depending on how intense you wanna take this, I would say beginners are those who are really building up your leg strength. You could do a heavy spring and a light spring. People with more intermediate leg strength could do 2 heavy springs, and folks with really strong legs or an advanced practice can go for 2 heavy springs and 1 light spring. So once you've absorbed that, let's place the headrest up. We'll lie down on the machine and let's get started. So on our machines, you have 2 options for foot placement. The first will be on the arch of your left foot, which will give you more grounding and more support and will probably be a little easier. The second option, and arguably the more difficult one, will be on the ball of your foot with your heel raised. So think like Barbie feet position or releve if you're familiar with dance. So pick whichever one you want. I'm tired because this is not the first video I've recorded today. Beginners, I would recommend you go for the flat foot. Your right leg will be in tabletop. Think knee over hip, shin parallel to the ceiling. We will take a big breath in. Exhale, push into the foot, extend the leg straight with control, bend your knee, bring it in. Now, if you are pressing the carriage out and in, and you're going, this is way too easy, give it a minute. This is a cumulative burner, so I recommend that you not immediately go full force on the resistance. All right, we're gonna do 8 of it, just about everything, and it will start to burn pretty soon. So we're just pressing out and in with that left leg extending. Nothing else is happening with this right side. Our pelvis is really steady. And after this next one, we're gonna start moving that right leg, okay? So we're gonna reach the right leg over the foot bar, big stretch. Exhale, we bend that leg back to tabletop. Reach the leg long, bend this knee, bring it back to tabletop. We come in again and out. 5 more. Breathing all the way through. And if you caught this note in one of the earlier workouts, we always want to focus on the sense of controlling the carriage in and out. Important for every movement in Pilates. If you're not aware, Pilates was originally named Contrology. Pilates is the name of the man, Joseph Pilates, but originally it was all about control, among other things. Good. Now, when we come in, we're going to extend the leg over the foot bar. We'll bring it back to tabletop once again. This time we're going to skate it under the foot bar and bring it back to tabletop again. Reach the leg over the foot bar, bend the knee to tabletop, reach it under the foot bar, bend the knee to tabletop. Good. Over and back, under and back. And my advanced folks, you're still on that left foot, on the ball of the foot with the left heel raised. You might start really feeling your calves going pretty intensely at this point. You're always welcome to come back down to the flat foot, especially if you start to feel any cramping in the calf. But challenge yourself appropriately. The whole point of the series is it gives you the keys to challenge yourself in the appropriate ways. So we have lots of progressions. You have the ability to decide in real time what is appropriate for you and ramp it up over time. Now, we are going to press away from the foot bar, send that leg up to the ceiling, nice straight line, and bring it back over the foot bar. Raise the leg up and lower it back down over the foot bar. So what I would prefer not to see, big kick. We don't want to kick. It's not a grand battement ballet. It's an extension and a reach. So feel your hip bone rooting down, your toe reaching up. so your leg is extending and lengthening. 4 more. Last 3. Final 2. And 1. Hold at the top. Now this left leg will stay straight whether you're on the arch of your foot or the ball of the foot. We'll tap the toe down to the bar, exhale, raise it up. Tap the toe down to the bar, exhale, raise it up. So again, we're not kicking the leg, and we don't want the pelvis scooting around or moving. It's a controlled lift and lower. You probably will feel a considerable effort of sorts in your quads. Totally fine. We also want the core softly but firmly engaged. 3 more. Last 2. And 1. Lift the leg up to the ceiling. Now we'll take 4 circles out to the side, out, down, and around. So beginner folks, you can keep this small. The main objective is to keep the pelvis really still. Intermediate and advanced folks, you can take this as wide as you like. Now we'll reverse it. Down, around, and up. So small, if you like, or as large as you can control. If you start rolling the hips over, you're not in control of it. But work within your ability today. Bend that left leg, bring the right leg back in. Just rest for a moment. If you need to stretch out or massage that left leg, the left calf particularly, if you had that heel raise the entire time on the ball of your foot, do so now. And we will go right for the other side. So when you're ready, my advanced folks or intermediate folks are going to be up on that releve on the right foot. Anyone else or anybody who's just tired, come down, including me, come down to the arch of your foot. Let me just tweak my sock for a second. Everyone will have the left leg in tabletop, both hips nice and heavy down on the mat. Exhale, we extend the right leg long with control. Bend your knee, bring it all the way in. This leg is completely parallel, okay? So we're not letting the toes or the knees go out to the side. And if you feel your knee wobbling around, it is what it is. That's just a sign maybe of some instability going on in the hip or the knee. This is a good thing to be doing to correct it. So just take it slowly, really focus on that controlled, smooth movement. Good. 3 more. You really feel your glutes activate here. Folks with the raised heel definitely will feel calf at some point, if not already. Good. And next time you come in, we're going to extend the leg over the bar. Bend your knee. Big exhale. Tabletop. Extend the leg over the bar. Tabletop. Feel your core come on to support this position. And exhale 4 more like this. And then we're going to do our over-under reach. 4. 3 more like this. 3. Reach that leg over almost like you're trying to touch your toe to the wall in front of you, but you can't quite reach, but you're trying, and back. Now we reach over the bar, tabletop, and under the bar. Tabletop, over the bar, tabletop, under the bar, tabletop. Now if you really want to work on finesse, you can bring a little bit of dance class to this. See if you can straighten this right leg at the same moment that your left knee comes over your left hip. A little bit of fondue and ballet for you. It's a ballet exercise. If that doesn't mean anything to you, don't worry. But the idea is both legs straighten at the same time or come to their final position at the same time. 2 more. I don't know about you, but that left thigh is a little tired. It's about to get a little more tired on the next one, last one. And under. Good. Now we come forward. I'm just going to readjust for 1 quick second. My sock is sliding. Next, we're going to reach the leg up to the ceiling and lower it back over the bar with control. Reach it up and over. And again, it's not that kick. We're not getting into a kick motion. We're reaching up with control, feeling your hip bone ground, your toe reaching up without using momentum or power here. or lots of power. Final 2. And last one, bring it up. Now we're going to hold that right leg straight. We tap the bar with our toes and lift up without kicking. Tap down and lift. Pelvis is really quiet and stable. Final 4, 3, and you don't have to curl your pelvis under to get your leg up higher. I'd prefer you keep your bottom of the sacrum nice and heavy. Now we circle to the outside for 4. It can either be big or small. If you feel like you're rocking your right hip up, that's a signal that you need to reduce the range. Keep that right hip heavy. We reverse. Down, around, and up. Down, around, and lift. 2 more. Last one. Very nice. Bend your right leg, bring it all the way to a close. Now, especially if you were up on your raised heel position, let's roll out that right calf. Give yourself a little relief here. And whenever you're ready, we're going to roll on up to sitting. We'll move on to our bridge variations. So everybody's going to lower the headrest. I will place on 2 heavy springs and a light spring. I would say that's going to be fairly standard for beginners and intermediate. Advanced folks, take off the light spring, do it on 2 heavy or any option that feels right to you. Let's keep this theme of single leg variations going while we get into our bridges. So we'll start off with both feet on the foot bar. I've given myself a little bit of room between the shoulders and the shoulder blocks just so I don't end up totally crammed up against them. Beginners and intermediate, if you like, arches on the bar. Once again, aiming for your feet to be on top of the bar rather than in front of the bar. Intermediate or advanced folks, you can come up to the balls of your feet with your heels lifted again, assuming your calves aren't completely toast from that last sequence. And if they are, bring the feet flat. Arms will be long by your sides, knees in line with hips, toes in line with your knees, palms press down into the mat, collarbone wide. Big breath in. Exhale, flatten your back into the mat, roll your spine up, 1 bone at a time until you find your bridge. Now the goal is to get into a diagonal line so you have your knees, your hips, and your shoulders in almost a straight line. Now when we start to roll down, we melt each bone into the mat. I've got a giant tuck under with the pelvis, and I'm going to try to flatten my back out into the mat without moving the carriage. And then I bring the sacrum down to the mat nice and heavy, coming back to my neutral spine. Now we roll up again. Flatten your low back into the mat. Big scoop up with your low abs. Use your abdominals to help you lift in addition to that big glute squeeze. Roll it down 1 bone at a time. Now, that feels pretty doable. You can also explore raising your arms up over your shoulders. That may or may not feel like a good option to you, but you're welcome to take it if you like, regardless of which foot position you have or your spring load. Good. 1 more like this, really focusing on that articulation. And rolling up. Now we're going to pause in this bridge position. Your arms can be up or they can be down. Little pulses up and down. So I'm not going all the way down to the mat. I'm certainly not resting in between. I'm just lifting a little and lowering, trying to keep this carriage as still as possible. If you'd like an advancement, arms can come up over your shoulders. We want that big glute squeeze. Let's take it for 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Arms down by your sides. We're going to press the carriage out, bend your knees, bring it in. As we press away, I'm not letting the butt drift down toward the mat and drop. I want to think about it staying lifted, almost like my knees are moving up on an upward diagonal. We want to keep that butt lifted high. Abs are still on. We're certainly not flaring the ribs up. Those ribs need to be nice and heavy, like you have a heavy cat sitting on your ribs or your chest. Arms can be up, of course, if you like. That feels stable to you. Last one. Bring it all the way down. Roll your spine 1 bone at a time. close the stopper. Windshield wiper the knees side to side with the feet wide. We'll add another variation. Okay, moving on to some single leg variations. Now beginners, if you don't feel comfortable lifting onto single leg with the hips lifted on the foot bar, you can bring your feet down to the sandpaper. Do all of this in this position. Completely fine. So beginners, feet on the sandpaper or arches on the foot bar. Intermediate, arches or balls of the feet on the foot bar. Advanced folks, balls of the feet on the foot bar, hips lifted. Wherever our feet are, we're going to roll our spines up into a bridge and hold the hips high. Once we're there, we're going to try to hold the carriage still, raise one leg up in a bent leg position like a tabletop, and other leg comes up. So the knee can come past my hip. And we're going to switch. So we really want to prevent those hips from dipping down. We also want to prevent our hips from rocking side to side. That's going to really throw us off. So you have to fight to stabilize using your glutes, your core, and again, find that diagonal line from knees to hips to shoulders. If you are feeling very stable, you're also welcome to raise your arms up over your shoulders. That is definitely possible. It will also make it a little more challenging to keep your hips steady. Good. Last set. And lower down. Arms down, roll your spine down. Close the stopper. Let's rock your knees side to side. Okay, I think we're ready to move on. What do you think? Placing both feet on the foot bar, you're going to extend your leg up. Reach as high up on your leg as you're able to, ideally behind the calf or higher. If you need to reach behind the hamstring, the back of the thigh, that's okay too. Just pull the leg in toward you. Feel a nice little stretch behind the back of your thigh. And switch, again, reaching where you can, but ideally if you can get the top half of the leg, it'll give you a little bit of more encouragement to straighten the knee. Good, let's move on. Next up, we're gonna come to side lying legs with foot and strap. For beginners and maybe some intermediate, we're gonna do one light spring. Intermediate or advanced, one heavy spring. You could also take it up higher or add an ankle weight if you need more challenge. Any of those are acceptable. We're going to turn onto our right side, grab the strap in front of you, pull it forward. The other day we placed it onto the thigh. Today we're going to place it onto the foot, onto the arch of the foot. Bring the legs to tabletop. Now, beginners, you're going to want to lie down on your side with your head on your bicep or resting on your hand. That could be fine for any level. If you are more advanced or would like more of a challenge, you're going to come onto your forearm, shoulder over elbow, and your hand can wrap around the shoulder block in front of you. So lying down however you like, we're going to press the top hip away so you're lifting up through your bottom rib. Now if you're lying down on your side, it's going to look a little something like this. You'll see how I get that little pop. That just means I'm not compressing and resting and crunching into the bottom side of my torso. So the goal here is we're going to press away, hold that position no matter where we are starting from. Lift that top leg to tabletop. This is our start and end position. Press it to the side and bend the knee. Bring it forward. Press to the side, keeping your bottom rib lifted. Bend your knee, bring it forward. We're going to go for 6 more. You'll see I'm looking over my right shoulder. I find that that is just a very natural, relaxed position for the neck. But whatever works for you, works for me. Final 2. And we want to take care not to round through the back. We want to keep that left hip nice and elongated. So now we're going to press to the side once again. Hold this position. We're going to pulse the carriage up and down. Your left knee and left toes are pointed forward. You might feel the carriage wiggle a little bit. You want to keep your bottom ribs lifted. Final 2 and 1. Hold at hip height. Flex your foot. Bring the leg as far forward as you comfortably, reasonably can. Press through that strap. Send it slightly behind the hip. Bring the leg forward. Point the toe, take it slightly behind. So it doesn't have to be way back here. Think like to the back corner of your foot bar. Flex the foot, bring it forward. Press behind, 5 more. These feel very hard right now for some reason. Even though I do them all the time. Guess I'm tired. This is day 5. And we want to try to keep this at hip height the whole time, like it's skimming the top of a table. Final 2. Keep your bottom rib up. And last one. Good. Take a little quick breather. Big breath in. Okay. Next, we're going to press the leg to the side. Bring it forward. We want it right in front of the hip, not somewhere out to a front corner. Okay. Once it's here, you're going to rotate the leg inward, so your heel is facing slightly up. Pulse up and down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knee. Rest. Okay. Last but not least, small circles to the back and forward. So once again, press your top hip away. Get your hips stacked right on top of each other, nice and evenly. Press to the side, point your toe. Small circles to the back. 7, 6, 5, 4. I like to say about the size of a basketball. And 1, or a dinner plate. Reversing. 4 more. 3, don't let your waist collapse into the mat. 2, and 1. Okay, that's enough. Pound it out. Take the strap off of your foot. We're going to place the strap back wherever we found it. We'll rotate over to the other side, coming back to whichever position we were lying in before, whatever felt right. So that's lying with your head resting on your bicep in your hand or propped up on your forearm. The strap will go onto the arch of your right foot. And again, even if you're down on your arm, we still want to press that top hip away so you get this little lift under here. Even if your body is still in contact with the mat, we still want to get that sensation of your hips pressing away. So I'm going to come onto my forearm for this one. Find your stack. When you're ready, we're going to lift this leg up to hip height. We press to the side and bend, bring it in. So when I was talking about not curling under with the hips, what I mean by that is not letting yourself crunch forward at the waist and not letting the pelvis scoop under. You almost want to feel like your right hip is reaching back behind you without arching your back. That will actually give you a little bit of a stretch through the glutes. It'll keep your pelvic position just right. I just had to wiggle around a little to get comfortable. 2 more here. And last one. Now we're going to pause there, pulse the foot up and down. 6 more to make it 8. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause at hip height, flex your foot, bring it forward, point your toe, take it back. I know we talked about this the other day. The second side always feels harder. So you're already fatigued. Supporting leg already worked hard. It's like, nah, I'm good. I should be taking a break. Why am I still supporting? Your top leg is already a little tired from supporting on the other side. 4 more. Last 3. Final 2. Starts getting pretty hard here. And last one. Good. And we rest. Oh, you can collapse. Do what you gotta do. Get a sip of water. We're gonna do those pulses with the leg directly forward and then our small circles to the side, going back and going forward. And of course, you can always change your position if you choose to lie down midway through. That is completely fine. When you're ready, extend your leg forward. Rotate through the hips so your heel faces up. We pulse up and down. Knees right on top of each other, one on top of the other. 6 more to make it 8. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bend your knee, rest for 1 sec. We're going to extend directly side, and we're going to take our small circles to the back Very steady through the pelvis, lifting through the bottom rib. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse, especially as this carriage is wiggling more. We really need to fight to stabilize through the core, even more than we did before. 3, 2, and 1. Very nice job. Pound it out if you need to. We're going to take the strap off of the arch of the foot. Come to lying down on your back. We'll enjoy a nice pretzel stretch next. You can add on another spring of any color if you like, if you need more stability. Let's cross one thigh over the other. And you're going to grab onto your ankles or your shins, pull your legs in toward your chest. Feel that nice, intense glute stretch. If this is too much for you, you can always go for the figure 4 with your right ankle crossed over your left knee. But I like this pretzel variation. It feels really impactful to me. You just want to make sure if you need more intensity that you pull the legs further in toward your chest. You keep your head down. You can always pull your legs a little bit more toward the left when that right leg is on top for a deeper stretch. Switching sides. Left leg on top. Holding onto your ankles or your shins or your feet, whatever you can reach. Pulling the legs in toward your chest. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Pull the legs over to the right to deepen the stretch if you choose. And unfurl the legs, rolling up to sitting. We will move on. Alrighty, next up we're going to move into a series for arms and back. So we'll place on one light spring or one heavy spring. I would say the light will be better for beginners or those who need a little bit more work on their upper body strength or need some more time to build upper body strength. The red or heavier if you want to should be fine for most intermediate and advanced folks. So we have a few different options for how we are seated in this one. Beginners, you can sit down in cross-legged position. Intermediate folks, you can sit down on your heels. Advanced folks, you're going to lift up with your hips hovered above your knees, okay? So wherever you are, you're going to flip your palms to face back. You're going to sit up really tall. We'll do our chest expansion. So we're going to stay really lifted through the low back. Press your hands back. Hold, squeezing your shoulder blades together. 3, 2, 1. With control, bring the arms back. Deep breath in, exhale. Press the hands back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. 3, 2, 1, and return. So beginner folks are going to be in the seated position, still lifting as we press back and forth. Really focusing on squeezing the shoulder blades together. And my advanced folks, you know where we are. We're standing really tall. We have this wider range of motion. So our goal is to make sure we're not sticking the butt out, right? And let's go for another 4. Last 3. Keeping the hands close to your body or close to the side of the reformer if you're seated. And 1. We're going to hold here. Look over the right shoulder. Grow taller. Look over the left shoulder. Grow taller. Hands come forward. Press back again. We look over the left shoulder. Reach back with the fingertips. Grow taller. Look over the right shoulder. Grow taller. Hands come forward. Very nice. Now, whichever position we're in, we're going to hinge back, whether you're seated or kneeling. We're going to try to keep a really straight spine, and we're going to press the arms back. We'll go into our tricep extensions. So for my intermediate advanced folks, looks a little something like this. The butt is hovered right above the heels. We're squeezing the elbows next to the rib cage. We're bending and extending. For my beginner folks, we are seated forward. We're going to lean our chest forward, and we bend and extend. So your arms are going to be a little further away from your torso, so the ropes have some space to go. That's okay. You want your hands coming next to your knees and then pressing back. Let's take another 4. Core is on and supporting. 3. Final 2. And last 1. Good job. Bring your arms forward, close the stopper, roll your shoulders back, bring one ear to one shoulder, and return. Let's go to the next exercise. Now, seated, kneeling, standing on your shins, whichever position you're in, arms are going to reach forward. We're going to keep this really high seated position, bring the arms out to a T, and then back in front of the shoulders. So your palms start facing each other. We extend the arms out, squeeze your shoulder blades together in the back, and bring the arms back together. Now, if that is bothering your upper traps or your neck, you're going to lower the arms more of like a 45-degree angle. That might get this a little bit onto that mid-trap, lower trap area if you feel this squeezing in your upper traps. Beginners are going to continue there. Intermediate or advanced, sitting down on your heels or lifted up, it's going to look something a little bit more like this. And for the advanced folks, if you need to choke up on your straps a little more, totally fine. It's going to look something like this. Good. We'll take 3 more. Last 2. And last one. Good. Great option for posture, for strengthening the upper back, particularly if you have any pain from working at a desk or using a phone a lot. Next, we're going to come to sitting on our heels for intermediate folks. Beginners can sit cross-legged if that feels best to them. Advanced folks, you can come kneeling with your toes up against the shoulder blocks. Wherever you choose to be, your arms are going to extend down by your sides. We're going to press the hands forward, palms face the ceiling, and we grow taller as we lower the hands back down. So a couple things to remember. We don't want to relax into the back and round the spine. No good. We don't want to round the upper back as we reach forward. We want to keep the hands at shoulder height or lower. We don't want them all the way up here for most of us. So we're going to think about growing taller, feeling our abs come on as we press the arms forward. Elbows are nice and straight. But press forward and lower down. For my advanced folks, you can keep the hips lifted or lift as you press forward, lower down as the arms come down. Next time you press the arms up to shoulder height, we're going to bend the elbows, grow taller, bring the hands next to your ribs. Exhale, press forward right in line with your shoulders. Bend the elbows, feel like you're growing tall. Exhale, press forward. 4 more. Still keeping your collarbone really wide so your shoulders aren't collapsing forward as you extend. Last 2. And last one. Fingertips together, elbows wide. Keep your torso nice and stacked. We're going to open the hands, let the arms come out to the side. Exhale, bring the fingers together, growing taller. Making sure you're not rounding into the low back. And your palms are facing each other as they come to the front. 4 more. Make sure your back is in the game, not just your chest and shoulders. Core is on as always. Last 2. And last one. Beautiful job. Lower the straps. We're going to come to our final plank challenge. Okay, for our last sequence, we're going to either select one heavy spring or one light spring. The heavy spring will probably be a little bit easier, so definitely a better choice for my beginner folks. The light spring will be more challenging. So those who need a little bit more intensity, who have good core stability, you can go for that. We will come down onto our forearms. We're going to wrap our hands around the shoulder blocks. My beginner and intermediate folks, we're going to wrap our toes around the edge of the platform and we'll hang tight there. My advanced folks, you can do this as well, or you're welcome to bring the toes up to the foot bar instead. Either way, we're all going to lift the knees, press out to the plank, and we're going to hold. So my advanced folks, we're going to put one foot on the foot bar, press out, come down into our plank and hold there. Okay? Wherever we are, We're gonna hold that plank for 20 seconds. Making sure you're breathing. We want shoulders over wrists. Try to imagine a straight line from the crown of your head to your shoulders, to your hips, to your heels. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knees. Place your knees down, close the stopper. Take a little break. Okay, so for our next option, we're gonna bend and extend the knees. So hands on the shoulder blocks, forearms down to the mat, toes on the sandpaper or up on the foot bar. We're gonna lift the knees up, press out to our plank. We're gonna bend the knees, bring the carriage in, extend the legs, push the carriage out, trying to keep the shoulders right over the elbows the whole time, flowing through this. For my advanced folks, your feet are up on the foot bar. Same idea. You're going to bend the knees and press back out. Bend the knees, press back out. We're going to take 2 more to bring us to 8. And last one. Good. When we're ready to come in, we're going to close the stopper, press back, find a child's pose, hips down to heels, arms out along the frame. Big breath in, exhale, let it go. Last but not least, we're going to do some pikes. So toes again curled along the platform by the sandpaper or up on the foot bar for my advanced crew. Hands around the shoulder blocks, push the mat away. We're going to lift the knees up, press out to our plank. Here, legs stay straight. We're going to fold at the hips, bring the carriage in, use your abdominals to control. Press back out to that plank. Fold at the hips, flare your sit bones up. Press the carriage back down. Beginners, you're going to keep flowing here up to 8 or less if you like. Advanced folks, feet are still up on the foot bar. You're going to keep flowing up and back down. If you'd like to explore single leg variations, sending one leg up to the ceiling, you're welcome to do that as you pike up. I'm a little tired, so I don't want to break my face. Good. Once you've done your 8, bring the carriage to a close. Good. Hips down to heels. Arms along the frame. Very nice. Roll up to sitting. We're going to flip around. Place on one heavy spring and one light spring. You're going to kneel on your machine, toes up against, or feet up against the shoulder blocks behind you. Hands to the foot bar. Bring your right foot up to the foot bar in between your hands. We're going to press the left hip forward, round the spine, feeling that big psoas stretch on that left hip. You can think about tucking your right hip under as well. When we're ready, we're going to stretch the right leg long. Stick your bottom out to the wall behind you. Bring your chest down toward your knee. Good. Stretch out the hamstrings on the right leg. Bend your leg. Bring the carriage to a close. Switch sides. Right foot down. Left foot up. You're going to square your hips off. Tuck your pelvis under. Round your spine forward. Feel that nice hip flexor stretch on the right side. When you're ready, press the carriage away. Straighten out that left leg. Now really make sure your left hip is drawn back so it's right in line with your right hip. Bring your chest a little further down toward your knee to deepen the stretch wherever you are. When you're ready, bend your knee, bring the carriage to a close, and you are all done. Thank you so much. You made it to the end of day 5. If you like this workout, if you like this series and you want to see more, please join my membership. There are 5 more days, a lot more fun coming, more level appropriate challenges for everybody. You can always subscribe, I post new workouts regularly. Thank you so much to my members for your ongoing support. You all make it possible for content like this to be available to everybody. Super duper extra special thanks to the folks who've been with me for 6 months or more. You guys are wonderful. My biggest gratitude to the folks who've been with me for a year or more. I could not do this without all of you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the membership for day 6. Bye.